Hey friends, welcome back. We're going to do another 6 family style dinners under $60. And why does my hair always look goofy on video day? I don't know. Anywho, totally random. So, this week we're going to do 6 meals. They are purposely bigger meals, and this is so it could be for a bigger family, or you would have more than enough to have some leftovers for the next day for lunch. So, this week we're doing some fun stuff that I found cheeseburger stromboli, some Greek chicken, some ham and rice casserole, some party chicken, and some Mongolian meatballs. So, let's get into it. And this one was really close, by the way. So here is the shopping list for this week. And like I said, it was really close. It came out to $59.96. So we had 4 cents to spare. Now, your total will probably not equal this. And the reason for that is I try to include everything you will need. The only items not on this list are going to be cooking oil. Use whatever one you prefer. One recipe needs a little bit of flour, and then, of course, whatever your favorite seasonings are. I didn't include a whole bag of flour because literally I think you need about half a cup. So, but some of these items you might already have in your pantry, in your fridge, in your freezer. Things like Thousand Island dressing. What about mustard? Some spaghetti noodles. If you have those 3 things, you've already lowered your total. So don't forget to check what you have before you go to the store, because that right there is a huge savings. Okay, my family absolutely loves pizza. And honestly, we love pizza in every variation. So this is pizza like plus a cheeseburger. And honestly, it was so good. And if I had blindfolded myself while I was eating it, I wouldn't have really understood if I was eating a burger or a pizza. It was so yummy. So this is basically you're going to make pizza dough. I like these little crust mixes, or you can make it homemade. I've given that recipe plenty of times too. But you're going to spread it out like a pizza, and then we're going to do all the traditional cheeseburger toppings and then fold it over. Actually, we're going to roll it. This stromboli, it's a roll, not a calzone. Sorry. Whew, getting all mixed up here. So we're going to roll it similar to like a cinnamon roll, bake it, and then slice it. And then it has that pinwheel effect. My kids thought it was really cool, just something interesting and different. And sometimes it isn't about necessarily trying all new items. Sometimes it's doing fun twists on things you know your family already likes. So let's go to the next one. Now, I've been kind of on like a Greek kick lately. I don't know if you've noticed that, but this one, it's a Greek sheet pan dinner. Okay. And a lot of this can kind of be prepped ahead of time. Sheet pan dinners are so easy because literally it's all on one and then just super simple. Now, I really like this with pasta, but you could switch this out to rice. And my kids really like to do the butter pasta, and then we mix in some feta with the butter, and it's just really yummy. I kind of make I'm really on a rice bowl kick too as well. So with this, once you've cooked your chicken and your onions and your tomatoes in the oven, then I usually put the pasta at the bottom and then put everything on top. But if you've got picky eaters, go ahead and keep it separate, and then maybe they'll eat a little bit more. My kids tend to eat a little bit more when everything's separate. So, but this one definitely super good. But if you don't want it to be a sheet pan meal, you could easily just go ahead and cook this on the stove. So whichever way you want to do it. Now, I threw in a ham and a rice casserole. And the reason for that is a lot of us have leftovers from ham from Easter, and maybe you froze it. Like, it's been 2 weeks or so and you were kind of over ham for a while, but let's use some up. So I've included, this is one of those 2 packs of ham steaks from Walmart, but you could easily substitute any leftover ham that you already have in your freezer. And this is just a really simple casserole base. And originally this called for broccoli, but I was kind of feeling spinach on here. So if you're not a big fan of spinach, just substitute it with broccoli, easy. And this is one of those that's really, really good the next day. So you eat a bunch for dinner and then maybe put it in the fridge for a day or two, and then you have it again for lunch. Super easy. Now, this next one is called Party Chicken, and I've actually heard it called a bunch of different things, but I just kind of like the name Party Chicken. Um, it sounds a little weird, not gonna lie, because I'm not a huge mayo fan. Like, I like mayo when it's in something else, but just like a spoonful of mayo is not appealing to me. But this is really fun because you're gonna take some cream of chicken soup. If you don't have cream of chicken, you could easily use like cream of celery, cream of mushroom, whatever. That's definitely interchangeable. And you're gonna mix it with mayonnaise until it's like a nice thick base. And then this is where that little half cup of flour comes in. First, we're going to take our chicken and we're going to dredge it just so it has a light coating of flour. And then we're going to put our soup and mayo on top so it has like a nice glaze. I kind of do it a little thick. And then here's the fun part. We're going to take the panko breadcrumbs, mix it with the cheese, and just sprinkle it on top. And then once this bakes, it reminds me a lot of the Parmesan chicken from Longhorn. And if you wanted to and didn't want to do cheddar cheese, you could easily switch that out to be a mozzarella or a Parmesan. All of these recipes, you don't have to, if you're not a fan of this type of cheese or you're not a fan of this vegetable, those are easy switch outs. And then this one just bakes in the oven. Now, for my kids, chicken thighs can be really big or they can be kind of small. So if they're the bigger ones, I actually cut them in half. And if you've never noticed, chicken thighs, when they're boneless, skinless, they're kind of folded over. Okay. So what I like to do is I open them out and kind of spread them flat. They cook faster this way, and you can also cut them in half easier this way. So just keep that in mind because a lot of times when they put them in like the clamshell packaging or even when they freeze them, they kind of roll them up into this tight little ball. So if you open them up, they're actually kind of similar to a chicken breast, except for it's dark meat. So, anywho. And then this one is just broccoli on the side. And I didn't mention this before, but all of the recipe cards, as well as the printable version, is available in the description. So make sure that you go there and you just click download or print, and you can do the free black and white version. I don't think we've done meatballs before, so I wanted to do that since we were already going to have the panko breadcrumbs for some of the other things. Now, this is a little interesting. You may not have seen this. A good substitute for egg when you're doing breading or if you're doing meatballs or if you're even doing like meatloaf is mustard because it has that same kind of consistency. And this was the only dish that was going to call for an egg. So I didn't want to have to buy, a 6-pack or a 12-pack of eggs just for one egg for dinners. So this is optional. If you have eggs already, you could use an egg. If you don't have eggs, don't worry. So when we're making our meatballs, so you've got your sausage in a bowl, you've got your panko breadcrumbs, you just use 1 to 2 tablespoons of mustard. And honestly, it works as a binding agent and the flavor just is not very strong. So even if you're not a big mustard fan, you're not going to notice. And then we're going to make all of our little meatballs. 1 pound usually makes about 30 meatballs. I tend to make them a little little smaller, just because my kids are smaller. If you like bigger meatballs, definitely do bigger meatballs. But just know that the bigger the meatball, the longer it takes to cook. So I did want to mention that sometimes when you're cooking meatballs in a pan on the stove, you end up to where the outside is all nice and golden brown and, it looks really good, but the center is still raw. And so one of the ways that I do to prevent that is, so when I have my meatballs, they've got beautiful color. What I do is I add just a little bit of water to the pan, or in this case, we're going to add the frozen vegetables, which already have that water. And then I put the lid on top. And so as you know, the ice melts from the frozen vegetables, it's going to give you some liquid and it's going to steam. And this is going to make sure that your meatballs are fully cooked. I do usually take one meatball out and just cut it in half just to make sure that it is fully cooked. You can also use a meat thermometer, but just that's kind of a trick to make sure that you get them fully cooked if in the past you've had that issue, because I have. Anywho, and this one, we're going to use the Mongolian beef seasoning pack. There's 2 different ways you can do this. You can mix it just with water, okay, and it's not as strong. You could, if you already have soy sauce, you can add like 2 to 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, and then 1 to 2 tablespoons of water. So either which way you want to do that. I think the soy sauce is a little too strong for my taste, but if you like strong flavors, then do it that way. And then my kids really like this just the way it is. But my husband and I do usually add like sriracha sauce or yum yum just to kind of up that flavor a little bit. So there's definitely extras you can add to this one. My husband and I are actually big fans of those Zatarain rice mixes, but sometimes they are really expensive. Like we usually stock up on them when it's a good deal. So this is kind of a take on that. So if you ever had one of those, or if you already have one, you could totally do that. So we're going to do some butter chicken. And to make it Cajun, what we're going to do is we're going to season those chicken thighs with our Cajun seasoning first. Well, I should back up. First, we're going to cut our chicken thighs into nice, like 1 inch chunks. You could also do that with chicken breasts if you have that. We're going to season it. And if you like spicy, go heavy on this seasoning. If you don't want super spicy, just go real light. And then we're going to saute those in a pan. And once those are fully cooked, we're going to kind of turn off the heat, and then we're going to add some butter. And I like to go ahead and slice it up and then melt it. And then that butter just kind of soaks in with all the seasonings. And then you have like this butter sauce on your chicken, and it is like so dreamy, yummy. And then for the rice part, what we're going to do is I got a can of the diced tomatoes with the chilies in it. And like I said, if you don't really like spicy, you can get the mild version. So there's lots of options there. And then what I do is I drain the juice from the tomatoes into my measuring cup. Okay. We know we're going to need 2 cups of water for our 1 cup of rice. Actually, I did that backwards. We are going to do 2 cups of rice, so we would need 4 cups of water. So I'm going to drain that juice into my measuring cup, and then that'll probably be about half a cup. And then we're going to fill the rest up with water, so we have a total of 4 cups. That wasn't confusing at all. No. Mm-mm. And then once we cook our rice, just like normal, and once it's all nice and fluffy and it's fully cooked, then we're going to take those tomatoes and chilies and we're going to mix it in with our rice. And you can also add some more seasoning, and then it'll kind of have that dirty rice feel. If you want to add some more protein, you could easily add in some red beans or even black beans and kind of make it more of like a red beans and rice. Totally up to you. And then I serve this kind of rice bowl style. So I put my rice at the bottom, I put some carrots on the side, and then I put my buttered chicken with some of the butter drizzle on top. And then if you wanted to, you could add some more hot sauce or however you like that. My husband actually tops it with some extra jalapenos. All of these recipes are really just the base, and you can kind of make them your own and add more stuff to it. So don't be like, oh, that's not enough. You can add plenty to any of these. I just really like this picture. This was the inspiration for my color scheme this week. So I just wanted to remind you that all of the slides and all the recipes are available on my website. I've got a link in the description. There is a free PDF that goes with this where you can print out all the recipes, and I think it comes out to 3 pages plus the grocery list, so you can easily check what you have at home before you go to the store. And then I did want to mention that we did a poll on the Facebook page, and it's funny, it was really split. About half of you really like the old menu style where it has breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the other half really like the 6 meals under 60. So we're not going to replace one with the other. It's not going to be just the 6 meals from now on. I think we're going to do a nice mix. When I have more time, we're going to do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. When I have less time, we're going to do 6 for 60. So also keep an eye out on the Facebook page because I've been dropping lots of what I've been calling like meal ideas that are all around a theme. We did one week, we did pasta salads. This week we did rice bowls. Those are also available on the website as well. And if you don't want to miss anything, sign up for our weekly email newsletter. It comes out on Fridays and you get first view of all the menus. And it also has any links in there for any cool stuff that we did during the week. So I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I cannot wait to see you next week. Bye.